So going back to Palm Beach, probably somewhere around 2017 to 2018, our program works with a couple of lead cars that we run, such as pace cars, but they adapt the pace that they run to the cars behind them. And we had just integrated new Dodge Charger Hellcat wide bodies. Great cars, a lot of fun, very exciting for the program, but they were brand new. So we were phasing out issues, whether it be braking issues or how they work under load, maintenance, wear items, all the sort. And we had an issue where they were starting to go down on us. They were braking. One of them developed a tie rod issue where it would get a vibration and a pull under braking, which is not safe for use. So we didn't put any guests in the car, but we were still testing. So as the safety manager and chief instructor at the time, I was testing the car, and we deemed, okay, this car is just not safe for guests to use, and we need another car to run in its place, and it's not safe for me to use. Let's go get a rental car. Back in the good old days, in my time starting with Extreme and in the olden days, if we didn't have the right lead cars, we didn't have enough, we would go to certain car rental companies and rent Mustangs or Camaros, whatever it may be. Unfortunately, we came to the point where we said, let's try that again, because we had no other option. Some backstory is we're banned from a couple of places, not many, and not Extreme as a whole, I don't believe, but a handful of us are banned, and I may not be banned from this specific car rental place, which we won't mention. Myself and the general manager thought, okay, we need to go get a rental car, some kind of muscle car we can use as this lead car to run in front of all the other supercars. So we go out to downtown Palm Beach. We go to the rental car centers for the airport, and everyone's sold out. The lines are through the door. Sorry, we have no cars. We have no cars. And we went over to the only place that had cars, and it happened to be the place that we are banned from. And here we are in uniform, all the good stuff. We walk in, hands over the logos, hands over the chest, say hi. I'm looking for a rental car. I'd really ideally like a Camaro because we were able to use our wheels and tires on the Camaro rental cars and brake pads and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we specifically wanted. And they couldn't get us one. The rental car place was saying, hey, you know what? I can't get you that car, but tell you what, I'll upgrade you for the same price. Let me put you in this Jaguar F-Type. And I said, I'm sorry, man, that's just not going to work for me. I really need this V6 Camaro. He says, same price. It's an upgrade. I'm not going to charge you extra. Let's just get you in this Jaguar. I said, it's not going to work for me, man. I'm sorry. I can't have it. He says, well, what are you trying to do? I'm like, oh, I'm going to go out on the town, maybe hit some clubs and whatnot. And he says, man, girls will love you. You got to get this car. I said, man, it just doesn't fit my needs. So he comes back with this like Mercedes SUV. Don't remember what it was, but I know it was definitely something out of my price range. And he says, you're going to the clubs. This is going to be good. It's going to get you all the attention. Girls are going to love it. You can get your boys in the back, get the girls in the back. It's going to be awesome. I said, man, listen, I'm here for a Camaro and nothing else. And he's going through all these cars. He's bringing me out luxury cars, like the high-end cars. I'm saying, nope, not going to cut it, not going to swing it. And he says, is there anything I can get you? And I said, well, let me take a look at your lot back there. So he takes me back. Whole time got my hands crossed over my chest like this, covering all the logos. And there was nothing that would work. But I saw like 4 parking lots over. I saw what I thought was a white base model Camaro. And I said, what about that car way over there? And he goes, I don't think that's our lot, man. I said, well, could you check? Could you see if that's a car I can rent? And he goes, I don't think so. I said, could you just check for me? So he goes over, a couple minutes goes by, he comes back, and he goes, turns out it is our car. However, it's got some issues. Had a crack through the windshield. I think the driver front fender was dented. The airfoil, or that little splitter under the front bumper, was hanging off. Car was a mess. It was a disaster. And he pulls it up, and I go, it's perfect. Absolutely perfect. He goes, are you sure, man? Like, let me just put you in this Jaguar. I'm going to feel better. I said, you can't sell me on anything. This is the car of my dreams right here. I take the Camaro to Palm Beach. We put some tires on it. We put our wheels on it. We changed out a couple of things, and I tested. And the way Palm Beach International Raceway was, it was a very technical course with an incredibly long straightaway. But for this V6 automatic Camaro to outrun the supercars, I had to enter the straightaway at incredible speed, just holding on for dear life, and run it as far as I could down. I have a big gap between me and the supercars behind me, and I just watched the rearview mirror as Ferraris and Lamborghinis start reeling me in on the back straight. We set up the track so, there's a lift zone where you lift off the gas and where you get on the brakes. And I'd blow past the braking zone full throttle, trying to get as far away from them as I can. And you get one good brake application of that car per lap. And then it was just glazed over and faded the rest of the time. So I spent a lot of time driving that Camaro. We'd come back into pit lane for obvious reasons. We wouldn't run guests in it or anything like that. And I would call the technicians over and say, hey, I need all of our cooling fans on this car. So we have cooling fans that cool radiators and brakes from all the cars. And then every time this V6 Camaro entered pit lane, all of the technicians took 4 or 5 fans over to the car to get the heat off the bottom of the transmission, to get the heat away from the brakes. And all the guests wanted to do was go in that car. They go, I want to ride in that car. Not the Ferrari, not the Lamborghini, not the Hellcat. I want to go in that V6 Camaro. So that was a lot of fun. We've gotten so far away from that. That was back in the earlier days, but you had to do what you had to do. And of course, we did it as safely as we could. As our number one priority, we wouldn't put any guests in there because it wasn't our car, but we still needed a car to limit the pace, right? To keep everybody safe. Easily, we would put 2,000 miles on a rental car in a weekend because not only was it doing the lead car duty, but it was also being used to commute to the hotel or do runs to the airport. We got our money's worth, let me put it that way. We got our money's worth out of these rental cars. At the end of the event, we put the Camaro tires back on it. We did all that. And I knew the owner of Palm Beach at the time, and it was our last event of the year, big celebration. And I said, okay, I'm on the skid pad. I'm turning this thing back. Tires are garbage anyway. So I went out on the skid pad and I was doing donuts and whatnot with my girlfriend at the time in the car. And I'm going around and around and around. And I think I just got to have enough tread left to get this back to the rental car place. Brakes are already gone. Just get it back. They won't know a thing. Do the donuts. Smoke is filling in the car. And I pull out of the front gate and the security guard, red in the face, yelling at me. He says, "Who's doing donuts over there? Get the guy doing donuts to stop." And I say, "Don't worry, sir. I know who it was. I've talked to him. He's not going to be doing it anymore." I've got the smoke still billowing out of the car at the time. He goes, "Are you sure?" I said, "I promise you, the guy that was doing donuts, he's done. I've already spoken with him. He won't be a problem. As a matter of fact, he's leaving right now." He said, "All right, well, thank you for that." I said, "Not a problem." Drove off, and I do believe that is the last time we ever had to rent a car for running our program. Drop the keys off, say thanks so much, email me the receipt, and you walk away very quickly. And we have other stories over the years. We would drop rental cars off that we did that with. That would always be a concern. And we didn't think anything of it until, I think it was St. Louis. This is back in the day when I was just starting out, that we would pick up another rental car, and it was the same one we got last year, and there's been no maintenance done to it. It's still metal on metal, tires are still bald. So for a while there, we started marking keys. We would start taking specific tape and marking the key of the car. So when we get back, we would see, hey, have I had this car before? And every now and then you run into one you've had before, and you would give it back saying, "Sorry, I don't want this car. Just not comfortable with it." Like I said, we're so far from those days, but we got some good memories there. And I won't name the place, but I personally am limited to my rental car options these days.
We'd like to thank this month's sponsor of the VINwiki YouTube channel, Minta Watches. We know the world of great cars and great watches tends to overlap a lot, and Minta specializes in remarkable timepieces, both vintage and modern, because they know that great watches also have great stories. So if you're looking for some entertaining and educational watch content, be sure to check out Adam's YouTube channel. And if you're in the market for a watch or you just want to learn more about watches, be sure to reach them at the link in the description below. They'll take great care of you.